Well, welcome to our scholarship information session. We realize there's a lot going on. It is Friday night, and we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come and talk with us, or listen to us for most of the time, I suppose, but also there'll be a chance for you to ask questions and let us know if you already can anticipate any concerns or any obstacles, and then we can think about how we might overcome those, or what we can learn as well during this meeting. So we want to introduce the faculty, talk about the grant goals, talk about the cohort model, the delivery model, the benefits included in the scholarship, as well as what expectations come with the scholarship. If you have questions about the application selection procedures, we can talk about that, and then any kinds of questions you may have at the end, we're happy to try to answer them. And we might not have all the answers, I can tell you that right now, but knowing the questions is a good first step. If we're going to the next slide, you can see that it's a team effort. There are a lot of people involved in making this program happen. We have university faculty, we have representatives from LKSD, from AVCP. We also have an evaluation team, and we have a literacy consultant who's a nationally known expert in the field of literacy. We don't want to go to everyone there. What we would like to do today is to let you see the faces of those of us here in Bethel, and we are the ones who are primarily responsible for designing the program, implementing the program, teaching classes, working with you as you work on the degree, if you apply, and if you get selected for a scholarship. So we'll start with Wendy.
Okay. So hi, this is Wendy. I'm with Zabina, co-PI of the grant. I'm in the linguistics program as UAF faculty member. It's my 4th year here in Alaska, and another thing that I'll be doing in relation to the grant will be the upper elementary advisor, which we will get into that in a little bit. So I'm not going to explain that right now, but so that's just a little bit about me. And Sabina.
So there's a picture of me. The second picture, that's me. I'm Sabina. I've been in Alaska for 10 years now. And the whole time I've basically been working with LKSD and with the region on teacher professional development in relation to language development, bilingualism, immersion education. I was involved when SciUp first came about. I was here, so I've been doing a lot of work. Some of you may have seen me around. I'm super excited about our newest effort, and look forward to working with people.
And hi everybody, my name is Duff Johnston. I'm an assistant professor of English and linguistics at UAF. This is my 6th year in Alaska and my first time working out here. And I do a lot of work with ESL students at the university in Fairbanks, and I do some teacher education courses at the university at the undergraduate and graduate level as well. Nice to meet you all.
I'm Patrick Marlowe. I'm actually joint faculty with the School of Education and the College of Liberal Arts. Excuse me. In CLA, I chair the linguistics program, and I'm a member of the faculty of the Alaska Native Language Center.
And finally, this is Maureen Hogan. I'm in the School of Education, and my background is in ESL and literacy.
Goals of the grant.
Yeah, so we've got a few goals here listed, and one of the primary goals is to establish a nationally accredited TESOL program accompanied with an ESL endorsement at UAF. And in order to kind of get this program going, we'll be doing this through the use of guided research collaboratives, which we'll talk about a little bit more. And the theses or projects that that students would be doing would be involved with teacher action research. So another grant goal is to improve the education of English language learners and students in UPIC immersion and dual language settings. And hopefully this program will build, it will be continual, right? So it won't be just after 3 years and that's it. This will be a continuing effort in order to build capacity for this continued support of ELLs and students in immersion and dual language programs. So I mentioned in the second goal about guided research collaboratives. So on the next slide, so that would be slide 6 if you're following along. This is kind of how things are going to be organized. So there will be 4 cohorts. And the students who are selected for scholarship, who are scholarship recipients, will be placed into one of these 4 cohorts, and they're divided according to like grade level. So there's the ELL lower elementary, ELL upper elementary, ELL secondary, and then Jugendtun immersion dual language, which would likely be K6. Probably K3, but it could be. Yep. So that would also be elementary. So you see on the at the outside of the circle, ideally we would like to have 5 students in each cohort, and you also see who the advisor will be for each of the cohorts. So Zabina would be advisor for the lower elementary, along with the reading specialist, whoever that will be, and the reading specialist will be involved with all the cohorts in some capacity. I would be the advisor for the upper elementary. Duff would be advisor for secondary, and then Zabina and the reading specialist would be the advisor for the Jugendtun immersion dual language cohort. So that's what this is a cohort model. And so those of you in your cohort, you'll be working very, very closely together and with your advisor over the next few years as you're attending classes and figuring out your research projects or theses. Okay.
Yeah, this is the third project that is utilizing this cohort model, and we found it to be very intensive, very engaging, and also very successful. We have very high quality of work that our graduates produce because they have this intense engagement with other teachers. Mm-hmm. And we're breaking the larger group of 20. 20 people are a lot of people, and it's kind of easy to get lost in 20 people and kind of difficult to focus on 20 people all at the same time. But if you kind of have 5 people, groups of 5, with a couple of faculty members really working together intensively on a weekly basis and talking to each other weekly about what are the needs of the kindergarten, you have a couple people, right? Sounded like we had, a couple people focusing with that age group, right? Really taking what you talk about in the classes and then bringing it to your grade level or to your context and really focusing on it that way. We're not creating kind of hard boundaries between the cohorts, but having 5 students, 4 other peers that you're working with closely, you're networking with, that you develop close working relationships with, really can help you in thinking more deeply, feeling comfortable in sharing, and also really helps with retention and high quality work. So it is very intensive on everyone's part. But that's also what makes it highly successful in our experience.
Yeah, and like related to that, with seeing cross cohort, cohorts working to get not only within your cohort but cross cohort collaboration would also be part of this.
All right, the delivery model. The delivery model is really why we needed a federal grant to do this. People can take classes via distance, and I know all of you have, and people always do, but there are inherent problems, I think, with that model. There are other problems with this model, but what we really, as you can see in our discussion, what we really try to work against is the isolation and the feeling of the coursework not being really related to what you're doing, and the feeling of being the only one out there doing this and not having that group of like-minded peers who are going through it with you at the same time, and who you can talk to and who work in the same context, right? It's very different to take this program with teachers who maybe teach in Anchorage. There's benefit to that, but there's also benefit in talking with other people who know exactly what you're talking about when you say something like, "This is what I see in my classroom," and say, "Yeah, I also see that in my classroom." So the way we manage to graduate teachers with master's degrees in 2.5 years is primarily through intensive summer sessions. And this means a commitment of 3 summers. We always do July. We always do the week immediately after the 4th of July holiday until the end of the month. And during those 3.5 weeks, roughly, everyone enrolls in 6 graduate credits. That's a lot.
It's very intense.
It's very intense. Pam and Jill can tell you all about it. But it is 3 summers. It is 3 summers commitment, and you're able to complete a 30 credit degree. In addition to that, of course, so 6 plus 6 plus 6, that's 18. So there's more credits to be taken, and we do that through distance delivery, and coupled with that, we have face-to-face sessions in Bethel. Because we've worked with LKSD for many, many years, and because we have proven that we can graduate teachers and produce high-quality work and a knowledge base that's helpful, the district actually has committed to providing 1 day of professional leave per semester for all the scholarship recipient from LKSD to attend a Friday, Saturday face-to-face session in Bethel. So that means, in addition to talking to us every week on the phone or using eLive or some other distance mechanism, every semester you would get together with all 20 students and the instructors for the classes for 2 days to really work together and continue the momentum and brainstorm ideas and do all those things that are difficult to do sometimes, when everyone is sitting in their classroom, in different locations, and there's people vacuuming in the hallways and kids coming in, or your chili is cooking in the kitchen. There's all kinds of things happening. We know. And in addition to that 3 credit class, we have the 1 thesis credit, which basically is your cohort class. You know how I said that you can take what you talk about in class and bring it to your cohort and talk about it at your level? That's what we'll do every week, or maybe every other week, depending on how each cohort kind of navigates that independently. But so you'll take a 3 credit class, probably all 20 students, or maybe in 2 sections of 10. And then you'll have a chance each week to work with your cohort, develop your action research project or thesis, and talk with each other about what you heard in class, what questions you have, what does that mean for me, right, or for us. So this professional leave, I think, is a really great investment and by LKSD, and we really appreciate it. Carlton is very supportive, and I think that's a really key element of this. Also, we don't always expect you to come to us or to come to Bethel. We're going to come to you. We will visit you at least once during the first year and at least once during the second year, maybe more frequently than that, to meet you in your context, see your kids, meet your site administrator, not to check up on you, but to be there for you and to really understand and see what you're telling us. So that's kind of something that we do to minimize your travel, but also for us to be able to know what we're talking about. Because there's something about seeing and being there that really helps you connect and that helps you engage in some coaching, some conversations, and all that. And one thing, and I know for some people this number 4 is always a big, scary thing, public presentations. Because you're not just doing this for yourself, you're being supported by the district, you're being supported by a federal grant, you're being supported by your communities. We do have a component of public presentations in your schools, at conferences. Of course, at the end of your program, you have to defend your thesis. That's a public presentation. So it's like the more often you do it, the easier it becomes. So there is that expectation of public presentations and talking about your research, your teacher action research plan in progress, give progress reports, and get input from your peers, and so there is that element to it, and that's part of the model. Do you want to talk about the benefits?
Yeah, sure. So there are a lot of benefits to getting a scholarship through this program. So first, tuition fees and books would be covered by the scholarship. Also, all the travel that Sabina had mentioned of the face-to-face sessions in Bethel, and for the summer session in Fairbanks, travel would be covered for both of those, for all of those, all summer and each meeting for each semester. Also, there is an opportunity to present your research at a conference or to attend a conference. This would be a competitive process, so not every single person who would like to attend a conference would automatically get the travel covered, but it would be a competitive process, and it is a possibility if that is something that you're interested in doing, and if that's something that you really want to do. Another benefit to this, another scholarship benefit would be the cohort model itself. As Sabina had mentioned, having the support of a cohort is it just really helps you get through a program of this intensity. And really, this is in order to get this grant funding, doing it via a cohort model is the ideal way to do it. You would be taking classes within your cohort and with the other cohorts. So the coursework would be really specialized towards you and your needs. There won't be students from other departments or from outside taking the classes. It would be all within a closed delivery type of system. Possibly technology for teaching and researching. So this would be getting like iPads, video cameras, anything that you would need to conduct your research in the classroom. That technology would be covered within the scholarship. And the scholarship benefit, another benefit would include, as Sabina had mentioned, the face-to-face advising in your community. So your advisors or committee members would come out to visit you in your communities, and that is covered as well. So it is really important just to give you an idea of how much this costs, how much goes into this. It's about $100,000 investment for each scholarship recipient. So it's quite a substantial amount that goes into this.
Right. What are we asking in return? We're expecting you to commit to attending the summer sessions, face-to-face meetings, cohort meetings. We're expecting you to show up. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but they are going to be competing. The volleyball team will be traveling when we have the trip to Bethel. Some other conference might be happening when someone's going to graduate from high school, or is going to have some other family event when we have the summer session. That's not negotiable. Attendance is not negotiable. So it's something that you'll really have to consider. And we are making a commitment to you. Every single person that we provide with a scholarship, we're making a commitment to work with you, to visit you in your communities, to talk with your site administrator potentially about giving up some of those responsibilities, and the district is making a commitment to you, so you can expect some support from the district office staff as well in terms of supporting your need to be maybe excused for some of the things that you're always tapped to do. And we find, of course, the students, the teachers that self-select into a program like this are the most engaged teachers. You're already doing 15 things. You're already doing wonderful services to the school, and the school can ill afford to lose the other things that you're doing as well. But in order for you to really complete and to reach for that level of excellence, some decisions will have to be made. Some compromise will have to be reached. So you might need to negotiate with your site administrator about not chaperoning the volleyball team, or not doing some other thing that you've always been doing, right? Because 2 nights a week you'll be on the phone with us. Yep. So that's a lot. We do we actually have, so there's good academic standing in terms of the university, and then which is like a 3.0 average, and then there's good academic standing in terms of grant funding. We actually will expect everyone to only earn A's and B's. No C's. In graduate school, a C might be able to be averaged out with an A for the program, but for grant funding, we're assuming academic excellence. And we will do what we can to help you, but you will have to do your part. We will engage you in teacher inquiry. So you will be looking at an element of your own classroom practice and find better ways. And that takes courage too. It takes courage to be willing to say, oh, let me look at my own practice. Let me not just look at the literature and what other people are doing, but let me look at me, right? So we're looking for people who are willing to do that. We need people who are going to complete paperwork in timely fashion, which I guess if you can apply by the deadline, you already have have that covered. Respond to email. This is just basic stuff, but the reason it's on the slide is because sometimes this has been a challenge in the past. You know how that works, right? When your students do something in the previous years, you always point it out to your next group of students, right? So you can kind of see where this might be coming from. The last one is not required, but it's something that we would prefer to happen. We would like to present all of our recipients at the Alaska Native Studies Conference in Anchorage, April 15th and 16th. So some of you might be going anyway, I don't know, but so this will be a trip to Anchorage in April. So the key things are the essay. The essay is very important.
Yeah.
This is your chance to let us know why we should select you. We don't just look at your GPA. We really look at you as a person. We're making a commitment to a person, an educator, someone who wants to inquire, someone who wants to ask questions, someone who wants to find solutions, right? Someone who's interested in developing biliteracy, even if you're in a English-only school, as NUNAP is, I think, right? There's still you still work in a bilingual environment. So a commitment to that, which is a mission statement in the Lower Kuskokwim School District, is something that we're looking for as well. Transcripts. So take the essay seriously. Don't get all hung up on it, but let us know who you are and what you want to do, and and maybe what questions you have already. Maybe you have some questions already, things that you're trying to improve. Transcripts can be unofficial. You don't have to spend money on getting official transcripts. If you are selected for a scholarship, you will have to apply to UAF. At that time, you will need official transcripts. but for the deadline of February 15th, unofficial transcripts are fine. Letters. The academic letter helps support the information in your transcripts. An academic letter really should be from someone who's had you as a student. So a professor. We had talked about maybe a state mentor, but really, ideally, a professor, a university professor, someone who can inform us in regards to your potential as a graduate student. So this is really, the academic letter really talks about your potential as a graduate student. Okay. The community letter should be from someone in your community, a parent, or even maybe a school board member, or someone who can kind of let us know about things not necessarily just in the classroom, because they might not know that, but you kind of as a community member, right? And because the community is also making a commitment to you, and we're looking for people who are invested in the communities where they teach. And we recognize people change communities in schools all the time. That happens, but still we're looking for someone who's committed to the community beyond just the classroom. And then the supervisor letter, one of the reasons that we're asking for that is to make sure your supervisor knows that you're pursuing this, and that your supervisor can think about, what that means for the school, right? Because if you are pursuing this degree, then the supervisor, the site administrator, needs to know. If for some reason you do not feel that your site administrator can be an appropriate reference for you, you can reach out to the district office or to a previous site administrator. Isn't that what we said? But the default should be your current site administrator. But if you're new somewhere, they don't know you, right, you can, if you have a question, would this be an appropriate person, just email us. Email Wendy or email me and say, oh, would this work? I'm not sure. And we'd be happy to provide some guidance in that regard. So those are really the key. Well, we want to know what grade you teach, and just question and answers. We're anticipating a few questions. You might want to know exactly what classes you will have to take. We can't tell you that yet. The program is being developed because it is a really innovative and unique program. That is not a pure reading program, nor a pure ESL program. It is a program that targets the literacy needs of English language learners, or as we like to call them, emergent bilinguals. Therefore, we are in the process of designing that program as we're selecting the students to be in the program. So that's exciting. It might be a little scary to some of you, but there'll be, the courses will have to do with literacy. The courses will have to do with language acquisition. Bilingualism, technology, their culture, so
assessment,
materials.
Assessment.
So we can tell you the kinds of things that you will be learning, but we cannot give you the course descriptions or the exact sequence of classes yet.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons we met with Carlton today, is because we are really committed to creating a program that will be useful. So we are asking for a lot of input. We could sit there and draw up a program, but we really need to hear from those who are in the region, from those who can give us guidance to make sure that the program meets the needs of the teachers in the region.